Hi, bows and bow ties. Before I get into it, I just want to say for the record, because I know everybody cares, my hair, it's like I have like a mushroom thing going, but I had some gel because I wanted my hair to like be more like firm, not firm, like, stay in some sort of style. But I feel like there's too much. It's almost too hard. I don't like it. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, I digress. So, I was on the TikTok, and this isn't the first time I've noticed this. Um, there seems to be this growing trend of men who look like me dressing up or impersonating women who look like me um, for hee-haws. And it's almost like somebody. I, let me just say this. Years ago, when I first said, I'm going to start a YouTube channel, like, was it 3, 4 years ago? I remember, and I never did this full video, but I started to collect and put into like a presentation all the different comedians who like to dress up and impersonate women. Oh, sorry, I gotta notice from Ticketmaster. Sorry. So anyway, um, and this was like several years ago, and I still have this same thing sitting on my computer. But I was gonna do a video on, the preponderance of men dressing up as women for heels. So I forgot what I called it, but basically they were using women who look like me for comedy. And so everyone will always say things like things are off the table, don't be so sensitive, or whatever like that. And I think that what happens is oftentimes, like the zeitgeist of the times, I think there can be a blind spot, right? And yes, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something. And what we're seeing is a lot of these men, when they're doing these things, when they dress up as women that look like me, they're not even trying to feminize, right? They're dressing up as like the worst form. Let me rephrase that, because is that the worst form? Meaning they're going out of the way to have floppy breast aesthetics, or whatever, um, all that facial hair, because the average woman does not have a full-on mustache and beard. We're just going to call a thing a thing. They do not. And so they think it's funny to dress up as a woman like that looks like me and have like weird wigs and floppy breasts and facial hair, and everything is like this aggressive. I don't even know what it is. Like it's like all of these negative tropes that they're feeding into. So anyway, I have this thing sitting on my computer, and I never did it. I don't even know why. But of course, I mean, there's the easy ones to call out, the Tyler Perrys, the Martin Lawrence, that type of thing. You've got the Eddie Murphy from The Nutty Professor. You've got Jamie Foxx and Wanda. Well, Martin Lawrence has done it in Big Mama's and Sinead. Now, I will say this. I was guilty back in the 90s of laughing at some of it, but I was a babe, a little child, I was ignorant. But as I've gotten older, they say, like, when you know better, you do better. And I know better. And I know many of these men know better. But what happens is we continue to do this, to create these harmful images. And then they're the first ones saying, like, oh, this is how people perceive you. I'm like, well, you're helping this negative racist narrative trope of being this woman who looks like a dude. They already tried to masculinize. I don't even know how to say it. Like, I just made up a word. They tried to assign masculine traits to women who look like me. Okay, so when they're doing that and you're dressing up like that, you're not helping. So anyway, getting back to TikTok, have a bunch of no-name dudes out here, and when I say no name, it's not even an insult. Like they don't have like this big name out. They're not like celebrity. You have a bunch of dudes who are out here getting out here, and they're like black moms be like, or whatever, or imitating what women who in the church, imitating black women in the church, black women, black mothers, like this, that, and the other. And it's just, in my opinion, really harmful. And they're doing it for a laugh. Even the way they're laughing, they're like, like hee hawing. They're wearing these ugly wigs. These dudes are ugly anyway because they're trying to like be like this ugly woman. I don't know what they're doing, but I'm like, they're already trying to make our features so much more harsh than what they are. I just see this trend of these men putting on these wigs and these ugly outfits and impersonating women. And this is the thing, they're thinking they're doing comedy, but I feel like it's a troll. I feel like what I am seeing is yeah, they're taking shots at women. I feel like their impersonation is more like I'm trying to think of the word. They're not trying to bring comedy. I think they're bringing harm, to be honest. And when I say harm, it's not physical harm. I don't like it. I don't. I just don't like it. You don't see a bunch of women who look like me getting out there trying to impersonate men or feminize the men. You don't see it happening. I'll put it to you like this: I haven't seen it. I don't see it in comedy. I don't see it on big stage, the small screen, or whatever you call it. I don't see that. I'm sure there's some one-off somewhere, but I see men in mass, like large scale, like at least the ones that are like me, going out there. They're the most masculine looking dudes, but trying to impersonate a woman. And even Kevin Hart did it on SNL one time. It was just like, what are you doing? It's gross. So, nevertheless, I'm just saying, I'm seeing this trend. I mean, I know they have been doing it, but I'm seeing it more in terms of in that bite size, consumable content, like on TikTok or whatever, where now it's so much easier to put together these small pieces of content and you're poking fun, you're laughing at black women. That is what I'm seeing. It's disgusting. And I feel like the people who are causing the most harm are the men who look like me. I'm just like, I don't know what is wrong with these dudes on so many levels. Now, usually I like to pop off with the whacked out weirdo women too, who are just being real psycho, but we gotta call a thing a thing. The men are psycho. The whole community is jacked up. It's so jacked up. Like, this is some messed up people. Got the women out here losing their freaking mind and arguing with men. They're going on these whacked out weirdo men's podcasts and sitting there. I don't even pay attention to that content anymore. But that's the kind of stuff they're doing. And they're sitting there arguing with people who, like, I feel like these are brain cells that they're not going to get back. Like, dedicating cycles to the shenanigans. And so you got these low self-esteem women walking around proclaiming to the world, like, which I don't understand why you have to tell everybody, like, I'm single, no kids, I don't like men, I'm not dealing with men, I'm divesting, I'm this. I'm like, oh, then do it. Like, why are you proclaiming to the world? But then you got the whacked out weirdo dudes who are literally out there making fun of these very women. It's sick. The whole community just needs to go on an island and just work it out. They need to have just like some therapists and and I don't know, but there has to be a come to Jesus movement because I feel like the level of the shenaniganery, I just made up a word, it's reaching critical mass. You have a group of people who are just literally suffering, I don't know, mentally just out there. You've got men who would literally sell their women up a river for a click, a view, a hee haw. And they don't care. And they will find a way to rationalize it It's really the only culture I know that does that. It's awful. But like I said, maybe I'm maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm getting old, but it's just I just feel like when I see things like that, it's so cringeworthy. It's giving secondhand embarrassment. Like, what is happening right now? So anyway, back to my hair. Just like, what is going on over there? Anyway, I am just that's just where I'm at with it. I try to swipe past when I'm on TikTok as much as I can, like, because these men are probably funny, but I don't want to continue to support that kind of content. They're gonna have to find a way to be funny without denigrating people who look like me. Now, let me just say this. I'm not gonna go home and cry about it. I'm just saying this is what I'm saying. I don't want my children to see stuff like that. Okay, you guys know what needs to happen. Let me tell you something. Supporting this channel is actually really cool. Let me tell you something. I don't qualify for, I actually looked it up yesterday. Don't laugh. I looked it up. I don't qualify for monetization because I don't have enough viewership. That's totally fine. Um, but I just like to just run my mouth. And I think more people want to hear me run my mouth. So you got to make sure you actually like this video. You got to do things like share it out, comment, subscribe, like, say something, all those things. Watch all of my videos all the way through, because I'm amazing in every way. I can do no wrong. So those are the kinds of things that you need to do if you want, or if you want to support the channel, if you want people to actually, more people see it. I would love for people to see it. I doubt they're going to really support the channel anyway, because let me put you like this. I'm still going to do me regardless. I'm going to run my mouth, and that's pretty much what I'm going to do. But nevertheless, if you would like to support, you know the kinds of things you need to do. All right. That's pretty much it. To all the fellas out there, stop putting on these wigs and these ugly dresses with the floppy breasts. Stop. Find a new way to get your little hee-haw. If you're a true comedian, you can get your hee-haws some other ways without trying to harm the community. You don't have to sell out all the time because you think it's an easy, quick laugh. That means you're not that brilliant. You literally are not that good. You're not that brilliant. Okay? All right.